Hello, everyone, and welcome to my show, Spirituality Meets Science. My name is Renu Arora, and I'm your host. Are you an energy healer or a spiritual worker who's looking for, who's exploring alternate modalities to try and increase to broaden your practice? Or are you a spiritual seeker who's looking to just gather more information, learning as much as you can about how energy works? Or are you new to this whole world? Are you just starting out and you're trying to get the straight goods on how energy healing all works? In fact, maybe you've even encountered some spiritual people who are a little too woo-woo for you to really get. And you want to have a real solid, good foundation in how it all works without the mystical, touchy-feely, that kind of language that seems to give us all a bad rap. Then you come to the right place. Where do I come from? I'm actually a co-creator of a new healing modality. It's called the trigger release method. And what I do is I help people overcome emotional, mental, and even physical problems by tapping in and releasing the underlying root emotional triggers that are there and release them from the subconscious. And to my clients, it feels like magic. But the thing about a good magic trick is once you understand how it all works, once you know what's actually being done, then you realize that there's actually nothing magical and mysterious about it at all. And that anyone can learn the skills to be able to create this magic within their own lives. So why am I here? My purpose is to make energy work accessible to everyone. I want to tell you that it's not just for those rare few who were born with some sort of intuitive insight into how it's all done. So if you're ready to be empowered with new knowledge and understanding about how the world really works, then I'd like to introduce you to today's topic. So today we are going to be discussing quantum touch. And I'm really, really excited. We've got a wonderful guest who I'll be introducing to you in just a few moments. But as our discussion progresses, we're going to talk a little bit about what quantum touch is. We're going to talk about how it's done, what it's good for, and if you've got any questions about any of those parts or pieces of quantum touch, then please enter them in the chat box. And we're going to do our best to answer them as we go. And one more thing, I don't want you to forget, at the end of my show, I will be doing a demonstration of the trigger release method for one viewer, anyone who wants to see how it's done and experience it for themselves. So again, in the chat box, if you're interested, just throw your name in there and say you'd like to be a recipient of a demonstration of this methodology. So, without further ado, I'd like to introduce you to my guest of today. Her name is Tai. She's known as Tai, the Spirit Messenger. She is a psychic, medium, divine healer, and spiritual teacher. She has been doing quantum touch for 4 years now, and it's made a huge difference in her life. She's seen some amazing things with it, and today she's here to tell us a little bit more about it. So Tai will be with us in just a second.
Hi. It works. Everything looks like it's functioning well.
Okay, good. Yes. So just in case anybody doesn't know, our first week, episode 1 was being done through Google Hangouts, and lucky me, in between they retired the product. so now we're working through Fire Talk, and hopefully this will be our medium for the future. But I'm willing to explore other things. But so far so good. I'm liking what I'm seeing. So Tai.
Yes.
I know nothing about quantum touch. I'm going to be letting you do most of the talking. So first thing, you want to tell me what it is?
Well, I'm excited to be here. First of all, thank you so much for inviting me on. I love how like attracts like. And I don't think that it's any coincidence that we both kind of magnetized this experience to be, in each other's lives, especially for this broadcast. So thank you so much. And I want to first say that I am a practitioner of quantum touch. I am not an instructor. So an instructor's interpretation or view on it might be a little bit different than mine, because I was in the classroom and then now I go out and demonstrate it. So to the best of my interpretation and ability, I will describe what it is. Quantum touch is being trained and taught outside of, it started in Hawaii by Richard Gordon. And Richard Gordon actually knew someone else that was actually providing this service to people, but it didn't have the name and it didn't have, the binder, the how-to, nothing. So Richard Gordon actually, and I don't remember the gentleman's name, I was starting to go through the book. Richard Gordon is actually the one that learned the modality from this person and then put it all in a context that everyone else can understand, where you can sign up for a workshop now on a weekend and you can learn it. So that's one of the things I liked about it. I could learn it in a weekend. I like things that are easy, fast, simple, and fun. So that's the way quantum touch called to me, as an energy healing modality. Where I'm from, Reiki seems to be the hot one. And honestly, I wasn't really drawn to it.
Mm-hmm.
And I was already practicing some form of sending healing energy remotely that my guides taught me clairaudiently. They explained to me a whole process of imagination and filling my heart up with love and then sending that to other people. So when I heard about quantum touch, it was talking about how anybody can tap into this universal energy that vibrates and permeates around all of us all the time, which is basically like source unconditional love. So that sounded so similar to what I already knew. And the concept again sounded really easy in a weekend. It didn't sound like I was going to be running a marathon. It sounded like I could do a sprint and I would be out the door with it. And I was excited about that. So I took the weekend workshop and, you basically train your brain. The only thing that I have experienced that's similar to kind of the mind mapping that you do to experience that was Tai Chi. So if anybody's familiar with Tai Chi, the idea is that you draw this energy from the earth and up through your body, almost like the filament on a light bulb, I think is what the person described it to me as and how I demonstrate it. So quantum touch is extremely similar in that you're drawing this up and you're doing like this sweeping and breathing motion it's timed, synchronized, where you're breathing the energy up and imagining it, and then you're sending the energy out, and you'll find like this rhythm and this tempo that you're tapped in, and it's really that basic and simple. The rest of the court, you're practicing the breathing and you're practicing a count, because it's really important that you have the same flow in that you have out. So it's like a beat of 4 in and a beat of 4 out. It's really that basic. The rest of it is just using your meditation to stay in that zone and your intuition to kind of like apply it. But the super duper basics in quantum touch was that you are the conduit. So you don't go in like a doctor with somebody with gallstones and say, oh, I'm going to fix that. We're going to take that out. Quantum touch comes from a place of the divine order of things is total wellness. So you send with the intention of the highest good of the individual, and with your mind mapped on what a normal size and shape gallbladder would be in that instance, if that was the situation. And it's kind of using that theory that Masaru Emoto uses, that if you've heard of him with messages of,
well, I have, but I'm not sure that everybody else has, and I find them fascinating. So if you want to take a second to describe that.
Sure. So in Masaru Emoto is this fantastic scientist. He's unfortunately passed away in the last year or two, but he published movies and books, and he put science, thank goodness, behind some of these things that are unexplainable, about how like prayer works and intention can magnify and heal and things like this. And he used it with water crystals. And he would literally like tape or glue certain words on certain like containers of water, and then he would freeze those, and then he would put them underneath the magnifying glass, and simply the words "thank you" or "I love you" being taped on the bottle of water would change the size, shape, and I guess model of the ice crystal.
Yeah,
And
it'd be perfect, right? Like they'd be absolutely gorgeous, like gorgeously
right.
developed crystals.
Whereas an insult would literally sometimes even look like a cancer cell in the water crystal. So this like,
or
right.
Yeah.
You make me sick. And even heavy metal music. I saw one water, yeah, one, yes.
I didn't hear that one.
Yeah, heavy metal music made a very misshapen, distorted one. And I don't have a personal. Do you? It literally changes. Yeah. And then I remember I thought music that was played or in a where the Tibetan monks were, something actually gave it like this frilly, fancy. And you know, these water crystals, they look a lot like snowflakes too when you're looking at them. But I mean, he's got books and books, and I don't want to do a disservice to the science that he created behind it, but that was definitely what helped me go from woo-woo to reality with this with this modality. So it helped me understand that thoughts and intentions really do influence and affect matter. So with that idea, if someone were to come to me, I don't get a lot of physical ailment patient or clients, but they are out there, and quantum touch is used in service of physical ailments. I do a lot more spiritual healing, but if somebody were to say to me, you know, Tai, I'm also experiencing, we'll just use gallstones again as an example, I would send the idea, the intention of a totally well balanced and healed gallbladder. So one of two things might happen from that, and it might take more than one session. But either the gallbladder would take on the size and shape and form of a healthy one and eject or reject those stones, or it might in some way dissolve it.
Cool.
So yeah. So yes.
I just wanted to, before you lose that train of thought, you said you do a lot of spiritual healing. Like that's where you emphasize. What does that look like for you? Like what is your typical client?
I do a lot of my services around chakras, aura clearing, but it's
quantum touch.
Yes.
Okay, just verify.
Yeah, and but I've even used it on pets. I didn't know the first pet that I demonstrated a quantum touch session on, I didn't even realize that they had chakras. And then I was seeing all these colors in the meditation that didn't make sense to me. So when I Googled dog and chakras, I got this whole diagram, and they do in fact have light blue chakras and a black chakra that I knew nothing about, but I saw it in meditation. And that's kind of how my programming or my training has worked, is I would see it in meditation, didn't make sense to me. And thank God for Google, because between the two, I'm able to find some resolutions to some of the things that I experience.
We worship at the altar of Google.
I'm grateful. But a lot of, spiritually speaking, I deal with a lot of like energetic attachments where, you know, if someone has ended a relationship or has family circumstances and they're unable or unsure which way to go next, I'm able to go in there energetically and kind of clean that. But quantum touch as a modality, it's so unlimited. They teach you these basics, and then they encourage you to go out and apply it in a way that calls to you and that works for you. So it's really kind of like a one size fits all, because you can attach your own personal healing with it or onto it. When I was a little girl, I was kind of born with this ability to see past lives. So the other way that I utilize quantum touch is I can go in and heal trauma residue that's been left behind by past life experiences. And the quantum touch is the way that I get in there remotely at a distance and then project it. So I paired up that intuitive ability that I was born with the art of quantum touch. And so that's just a few of the ways that I use it. Like I said, it's such a one size fits all, and you don't have to be an expert at anything. When you go through the training, you learn that quantum touch will move bones. You watch videos, you hear testimony, because they really want you to see like all the different facets. My son and I did a science experiment, like 5th grade science experiment. And I ran quantum touch on a jug of water. It was kind of going with Master Emoto's science. So I ran quantum touch on a gallon of water, and then we left another, especially after the heavy metal thing, we left another gallon of water at a local pub. And these were sealed, unopened, from a grocery store. You know, in Florida, they sell gallons of water So I just picked them up, same size, shape, model, everything. And I had one in my apartment, ran quantum touch energy on it, left the other one at a dance club that played different types of music. And then we did just a third one with no influence at all.
Right, yeah.
And then we had 100 people try all 3 cups of unlabeled water to see if it affected the flavor. They often mistaked my quantum touch jug for Sprite. They thought it was carbonated and sweet.
Oh my God, really?
The one from the club, they couldn't even swallow. They thought it was bitter and nasty. And
I froze there. The one from the club, what?
The bottle of water from the club was bitter and nasty. Like they wouldn't even finish the cup. And then and then the third one I got like really neutral responses about. Like they didn't really have a lot to say. And this was my son's 5th grade, you know.
Wow.
So I was really determined to put this practice into effect and see what kind of influence it had. I'm not kidding you. We still have all the data.
Awesome.
Yeah. So
that is so cool.
Change the flavor even, or taste, or even for them to confuse the one for even being carbonated was so impressive to me.
Wow. Yeah. That is so neat.
It is. It is.
How long did you let each of them, like the 2 sit? Like
the jug of water stayed at the club overnight.
Okay.
And the quantum touch jug I ran, you know, when you learn quantum touch, you can do it for 10 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, an hour. I did 2 sessions of 30 minutes, one at night and one in the morning. And again, you know, my goal is to just send unconditional love to it. There are some times where I'll be working with someone that has a lot of forgiveness work to do. So I may even, inside that meditation, I may even wrap in the 4 phrases of Ho'oponopono to really influence the energy, to have that I love you, I'm sorry, thank you, please forgive me, that energy around.
Yeah.
So it's hard to like say quantum touch just encompasses this one area, because you know, your body is matter, and then your mind's involved. And so even a lot of the work that I use it with involves clearing belief systems. It's really cool.
So out of curiosity, what do, so I know what you use it for. Generally speaking, like is there something that most quantum touch practitioners, like do they gravitate to a certain area, or do they, are they just all over the place? Or
a lot of people that I took the course with, they were learning it for themselves, because this is one of those modalities that you can easily use for yourself. Every time I would give someone like you a session, I receive one also, because you're the conduit in between, so you never get drained or tired. But a lot of people that I met were, I had a friend who was scheduled to have a knee replacement surgery. And so he was dedicated toward, his own self-care, which I think is a beautiful thing. I've known women who use it on their plants and their animals. I have a massage therapist friend who is a Reiki master and also trained in quantum touch. And she said to me, we had lunch last week. I actually invited her to be on the show and she couldn't make it. But she said to me that when she describes or compares quantum touch to Reiki to other people, she says it's like Reiki on steroids.
Oh.
So,
okay.
And she's been practicing for 17, 18 years. Another person that I know uses the practice a lot in their prayer service, like their prayer chaplain at their, and so it's kind of, when you have someone maybe that's looking for prayers or healing around a certain thing, or for a certain issue, you just go into that space. And again, you're just this conduit. So if you don't minimize or close out what options might be available to you when you're in that meditative space, anything is possible. Yeah.
Very cool. Very, very cool. All right. Well, I think that was what I wanted to ask you about it. I think you've given me some great information about it. Now, what I did realize was I forgot. I needed to break and do a little bit of practitioner news. I was going to do that after my intro, but hey, I'm still new to this. So a little bit of, let's see if I can get that. Practitioner news. So in case anybody missed it last week or hasn't been in touch with me, I am running a TRM practitioner training workshop at beginning of November. It's November 4th through 6th. So if anybody wants to learn how it's done, then I'm the gal to get in touch with. Go to my website, healfromyourpast.com. You can find out all the information. You can put in your deposit, and you can be a practitioner. Again, if you haven't seen it done, then not too long from now, I'm going to be doing a demonstration with one of our viewers. So that would be really cool. And beyond that, I guess that pretty much covers it up. Yeah.
I'm typing it in the chat box for anybody if they want to go to your website. So it's healfromyourpast.com to become a practitioner for
November 4th through 6th. Sorry, for what?
This is your thing. What are you doing then?
Oh, you're plugging in. Oh, I thought you were putting it in the chat box. Okay. Healfromyourpast.com. That's where if you go to services, you can read up on the workshop. If you go to book a session, you can book your spot. You can reserve your spot. It's a very much hands-on. So a maximum of 12 people are going to get into it. Registrations have already started. So yeah, if you want in, then it's better to do it sooner so you don't miss your chance.
It's called
and I'm super excited about it. It's going to be great.
It's called Trigger Response.
Trigger Release Method. Right. But I actually, that's the methodology that I developed with my partner. She and I have since parted ways from our original, what we've done originally, and I've continued to develop it. So I've actually, it's now the accelerated release technique, so based on the trigger release method. So it's in my case, it's TRM on steroids.
Nice. Accelerated. I was going to put this in that box for you.
Oh, thank you. That is very sweet of you.
Accelerated release method. And they can become a practitioner?
They can become a practitioner. They can do what I do.
Yay. Love that stuff. There. Is that right?
Oh, sweet. Thank you. That's awesome. Okay. So, yeah. So now, Tai, if you want to let everybody know how, thank you so much for being here. That was awesome. You were a brilliant guest. You totally.
I feel like there's.
I now know something brand new that I didn't know before, so that's always nice. I'm usually the one doing all the talking.
Oh,
So it's really nice to have to sit back and get something brand new that's completely um, uh, out of my realm. So that's pretty
right.
neat. All the work I do is subconscious work. So this is a different aspect of energy healing, which I just love.
I do
Um,
too.
yeah,
And
yeah,
I think it's important to note too, there is science behind, there is science that backs up the projection method, the way that we're able to do this, long distances. I can sit here in my lovely office and send someone a session or a treatment that's, 1,000 miles or more away. And,
hmm
a lot of that is through the meditative properties that we talked about. But the science that really helped me like go, oh, that's how that works, is really rooted in the Heart Math Institute and what they have, discovered about the heart being creating like this magnetic field around us that we can spread out further or bring into ourselves. And that is kind of like the magnetic attractor in our field. So
I might
I
have
just
to have you
wanted
back so you can just discuss that.
say it again.
I might have to have you back just so you can discuss that, because that alone I think is really fascinating too.
Yeah.
Because even the work I do, I can do it through distance as well.
Mm-hmm.
But that's one of those pieces that I've never been able to explain.
Right.
I just know it works.
Right.
So so yeah, I mean, I love explaining the science behind all of these different modalities, or at least at the very least, even if we can't totally explain it because we don't have the language to explain it yet,
Mm,
um, at least we can see how it applies elsewhere.
right.
Like that. So last week we actually talked about ways to demystify energy healing. So like actually Tai Chi was one of the things that came up. It's like
Nice.
that's a martial art that's been around for thousands of
Mm-hmm.
years, but it's a martial art. It's actually, and it's utilizing chi energy
Right.
in how it's done. So people don't really think about it as an energy form,
Right.
like utilizing energy and manipulating energy is part of it as a martial art.
Mm-hmm.
But it's there; it's always been there. So it's sort of twigging people to see energy in the general lexicon. Like it's there, it's out there. You just
Right.
have to open your eyes and say, oh well, that is energy. That is energy work. That
Right.
they're okay. I have some sort of grounding in how it already exists in my life. So it's not really a huge logical leap to see it being utilized elsewhere.
Right.
So that's the
Right.
kind of stuff I was trying to do during last week's talk, which was
I love that. I do. And I don't think it's any coincidence that it came up in my
no,
conversation today. I've used it in a way to kind of clarify and help someone better quickly understand. But I don't always. So I don't, like I said, it came to me today when I was thinking about preparing for the talk that I might want to just use that as a comparison. Unfortunately, I didn't see your first episode yet. But now my curiosity is piqued. I really want to go back
all right.
and check that out. So thank you so much.
Yeah, so let us know a bit. Let the audience know how to get in touch with you if they want to you use one of your services, or
Yeah,
I do believe you've got a talk coming up, your own show.
yeah,
They
we
want to
are. We're so excited about it. It's going to be like the spiritual version of, when I say spiritual, I mean like psychic mediums, healers, authors, that kind of thing, version of like The View. Where we have like table topics. There's going to be 3 or 4 of us. You know how you and I are 2 on screen right now. Or I'm going to be interviewing somebody, kind of like an Oprah style session. But, I love people. I find them fascinating, and the journeys they go through amaze me. So my show is called Messengers of Spirit, and we launch September 30th at 7 p.m. and then we'll be every consecutive Friday. And as far as anyone being interested in coaching or healing or working with me, I'm putting my website in the chat box and my email address in case anybody has any questions. Is that okay?
That's awesome.
Messengers of Spirit. And then I'll say it out loud. My website is messengersofspirit.com and my email address is tai@messengersofspirit.com.
Perfect. All right. So just to wrap things up. So again, thank you so much for being here. Just to let everybody know, next week's topic is aromatherapy. So we'll discuss a little bit about the science behind aromatherapy. Why does that work? Like, it's not just things smell nice and they make us feel good. There's actually something underneath why we feel better with certain scents, or worse with certain scents possibly. So so yeah, so that's going to be our topic next week. And if you want to be informed about when our next sessions are, go to my website. It's already there, and just sign up for my newsletter, and you'll get a bulletin a few days before and then the day of, to hopefully get you to hop on right when you're thinking about it. So yeah, that's the best way to stay in touch with future episodes. Even if we change formats, then at least the newsletter will keep you up to date. And I think that's it for the formal part of the show. Now, I was wondering if anybody wanted to have a demo done. I didn't see anything come up during the talk about doing a demo. So Tai and I were talking earlier. Tai, did you want to maybe be a recipient of a trigger release demonstration?
Absolutely. Sure. Yeah.
Right. It's gonna be fun. Okay, let me just grab my stuff. So just for anybody who doesn't know, and I know you aren't really familiar with what I do if you haven't seen the first episode. Essentially, what trigger release does is the basic premise is that any issue that you have now, so whether it's a physical problem, so it could be a chronic pain, it could be an allergy, an intolerance, you react to your cat or you react to the sun or whatever it is. So some physical issue or mental, it could be fears, phobias, anxiety, belief system, like a negative or limiting belief. So any issue, pretty much, if you can look at it and say, I really wish that was different, then you can lay down money that it's there because your subconscious is trying to get your attention. Your subconscious is trying to talk through you, and it's kind of like that allergy or anxiety, whatever it is like that flashing light on your answering machine. All it's doing is your subconscious saying, I've got a message. And anytime you want to listen to the message, this can stop. So what I do is I actually help people uncover the message. So very often it's a life event. It's like something has taken place, and it could have been when you were a little kid. It could have been a couple of months ago. It could have been last Tuesday. But something took place, and it's unresolved. There's some emotions that are still attached to it, or there's some a belief that you picked up which is not serving you very well, or there's something you're needing to learn from it, or something. But there's some reason that is you're still carrying that with you. So what I do is actually identify what it is, and we release whatever it was, the emotion, the learn the lesson, release the belief, whatever it was, we release that. And then once that's done, your subconscious says, "Whew, I don't need to signal you anymore." So the flashing light stops and the problem just goes away. I'd like to say it's that simple. The concept is that simple. Sometimes a given problem has a whole lot of roots attached to it, so it can be a little bit convoluted. So that's why we're not going to do a proper session today. But what I can do is demonstrate how to release a life event. So I do this one of two ways. I can either find out from your subconscious if there's something it really would like to release. So you don't necessarily You don't necessarily know what it is, but it's something that your subconscious has been hanging on to. It has been signaling you. You don't know in what way. You don't know in what way it's been signaling you, but it has been doing something, and you just haven't put the pieces together in order to release it. So we can do that. We can uncover a life event and let it go. Or if there's something that has been bothering you, like if there's an event when you think about it, you go, ugh, I really, when I think about this, it makes me embarrassed or angry or uncomfortable or whatever. If there's something particular that you'd really like to remove the emotional charge out of it, we could do that. So I leave it up to you. Which would you like?
Honestly, the biggest thing that's coming to mind right now is the fact that I grew up in a home that had a lot of domestic violence. And I have really done, I feel, an amazing job working through that. But I have noticed over the past year that when I go through a significant change that seems like it comes out of nowhere, I immediately start having this phrase repeating to me that I'm not safe.
Okay.
So I don't know if what you're describing would be able to help me release
that particular
connection. Because some of the events that are happening.
I mean, I'd love to be able to do that for you. Mm-hmm. Is there a particular event, like if you think back, like you said, domestic violence, is there some like particular occasion or event or something that thinking of that is sort of like underneath a lot of that stuff? Like, is there something particular that you can say, you know what? Yeah, when I think about that, that causes me anxiety, or that causes me distress, or that causes me something.
It's hard to just define it into one moment. There was just a whole series of events. And I have gone back and run quantum touch on those situations. And that's why I said I thought this was really resolved for me.
Okay, so let's see. I mean, because but you don't have to necessarily think of a particular one, but if you think of it as a group, there's some emotions or whatever that. Sure. Okay, that's all I need. I need to know that when you think about, when you bring a certain thought or cluster of thoughts into your mind, that it does trigger a response. Right. So it's perfect. Then we can do that. All right.
Okay.
So I use a pendulum.
Okay.
I will move out to my pendulum so you can see it. You probably won't get to see too much of what it's doing, but we'll try.
Okay.
So when my pendulum moves front to back, that's a yes. If it moves in a counterclockwise circle like that, it's a no. If it stops dead, it means there's some drama, or it means the answer is clouded. And that happens a lot because the ego, we're constantly trying to protect ourselves, and it's like when we get to something that's a little uncomfortable, the ego says, no, I really don't want to talk about that. So it creates a little cloud around it so that we can't get in. So we have to remove, like I do a lot of removal of drama. That's a big part of what I do. Okay, so can I connect with Tai? Yes. Do I have permission to access all parts of your energy? So conscious and unconscious, physical and spiritual, and across your timeline. Okay, so we're good. All right, so now I'm going to ask, is it for your highest and best and greatest good to address this cluster of emotions? Yes, it is. Is it 100% safe to do so? Yes. Do you give yourself permission 100% to do so? Yes. Do you deny yourself permission at 0%? No. Okay, so there's a part of you that's not giving yourself permission to release it. So I just gotta take that out first, and then we can get in further.
Awesome.
So if it's not 0, what percentage are you denying yourself permission? Is it more than 10? Yes. More than 20? Yes. More than 30? No. So 30%? Okay, so 30% of you is denying yourself permission to let that cluster go. So what's causing you to deny yourself permission? Is it a lesson that needs to be anchored? Yes. Core belief that needs to be released? No. Other emotions, beliefs, or attitudes? No. Is there any drama around the lesson? No. Is it one lesson? No. 2 lessons? Yes. Drama around any of these two lessons. Yes, I demand the drama be released. Any more drama? No, I forgot to ask. With respect to this issue, is your ego in balance? Yes, it is. Is your ego going to cause us any drama? Okay, so I said it was two lessons. Yes, any drama around either of them. Okay, so there's essentially two life lessons which you're still kind of wavering on. Like there's something that you're working on them, but they're not instinctive yet. So, and we all have stuff we know what we should do, but we don't always do that. So there's two of them which are there, which are creating that barrier to you allowing yourself to let the cluster go. Okay, the first lesson. Is it a 1 through 20? Yes. 1 through 10? No. 11 through 15? Yes. 11, 12, 11. Okay, number 11 is the first one. Let me ask, do I have to read the whole lesson? Okay, for you, I have to read the whole lesson. So it's, I don't always have to. Sometimes it's the conscious self that needs to hear it as well. Like I'm mostly working with the unconscious, but once in a while the conscious needs to be convinced as well, or whatever. Okay. 11. Okay. It says resolve challenges as they come. Procrastinating only delays the inevitable need for resolution and weighs you down. You have nothing to gain by putting your life on hold and waiting for a better time to resolve an issue. Take ownership over your life and intentions as and when they happen, just because they happen. By being current, completing and clarifying issues and challenges when they occur, you invite the potential for new opportunities. If you procrastinate, the energy needed to hold on to the unresolved issues limits any possibility for things new and exciting until or unless you do. Not resolving life problems as they come along clouds the mind, keeping it occupied with worrying about what to do and playing out scenarios. This isn't wrong as long as you finally pick a path to complete the task. When issues go unresolved for long periods of time, it becomes next to impossible to remember the exact circumstances around the initiating incident. The facts can then become magnified by emotion, confusion, and possibly a need to be right. So what was once a small issue then seems like a mountain to overcome. In addition, to be on task each moment stops the monumental buildup of decisions on what to handle first, and ultimately the exhaustion from being overwhelmed of where to start. It is better to be current than always have to come from behind to play catch-up.
Interesting.
Okay. And has this lesson been anchored in? So now we're just waiting as your subconscious processes it. There we go, that comes in. Now the second lesson is at 1 through 20, 1 through 10, 1 through 5, no, 6, 7, 8, 9, 8. Okay, number 8, do we have to read this lesson? No, this one we can just tell you what it is. Number 8 says, mistakes are necessary for learning. Use each one as a growth opportunity. Mm-hmm. Okay, here's this lesson been anchored in. Okay, there we go. So having anchored in those lessons, now do you deny yourself permission at 0%? Oh, still not 0? Oh, we're shifting. Okay, is there any drama here? No, is it denial at 0? Okay, it took an extra second to shift, that's all. All right, so now we can actually address the issue. So is that emotion, is that cluster of life events still present? Okay. Is there any drama around it? Okay, there's some drama there. We demand the drama be released. Any more drama? Collapse the timeline around this drama. Any more drama? Okay, so again, is the cluster of life events still there? Okay, is there a contract associated with it? Good to know. Okay, so in order to release that cluster of life events, is there a lesson that needs to be anchored? No. A core belief to release. It's going slow, which means there's some drama. Yes. Other emotions, beliefs, or attitudes? No. Is there drama around the core belief? Yes, we demand this drama be released. Any more drama? Collapse the timeline around this drama. Any more drama? Okay, no more drama around it. All right, how many core beliefs are we talking about? 1, 2. Okay, so So a core belief is different from a lesson. A lesson is a life lesson, something you're meant to learn and something that's meant to be to become instinctual.
Mm-hmm.
A core belief is it's a survival instinct. Mm-hmm. Essentially, and in this case, it's when that series of events took place. It was traumatic enough that as you were going through it, you subconsciously or consciously or whatever, the primary thought was, why the hell am I going through this? Like, why is this happening to me? And the interesting thing about human nature is humans hate not knowing. They're really, really uncomfortable with not having an explanation for something. Mm-hmm. So if you're going through some trauma or whatever it is, we're more comfortable having even a negative belief about ourselves. We'll make up a reason for why we're going through it before we just say, I don't know, it just is.
Right.
So we'll say, oh, that happened because I don't know how to stand up for myself, or it happened because I am just not good enough, or because I don't know how to make a decision, or whatever. We'll just oh, well, that's what happened. Mm-hmm. Okay, I get it. Now I know that's just the way the world is. Right? So it becomes a belief system anchored into our core. It's a core belief. And that's fine. Like I said, it's a survival instinct. So it got you through. It allowed you to get to the other side of it.
Right.
But the problem is, once the event was done, like over with, finished, your subconscious continued to hold on to those beliefs. Even like all the circumstances of your life have changed, you're still seeing the world filtered through those beliefs. So they impact everything you think, do, say, whatever. Mm-hmm. So the reason those life events are stuck is because you've still got the beliefs that they're attached with them. So what we have to do is detach those beliefs. So what I'm going to do, I've already identified that there's two of them. Well, at this point that there's two. There could be some hiding after some release. We might find some more. I'm going to read the belief, and as I read it, the pendulum's going to go, yep, that's my belief. Then I'm going to read the opposite. We're going to read what we want your subconscious to believe instead, because the subconscious won't change its mind without being given a good reason to do so.
Okay.
All right.
That makes sense.
Yeah, so as we're going to do that, it's initially going to go, no, oh, maybe. You know what? Yeah, that belief makes a lot more sense. Yeah, when I look at the way my life is now, that fits so much better. I don't need that old outdated belief.
Right.
And we can actually watch it go. You'll be able to watch it shift. Okay, so we said there's two of them. Yes, the first one is at 1 through 20, 1 through 10. 11 through 15, 16, 17, 16. Core belief 16. Okay. So the belief is, or one of the two, I will never have anything I actually want. I'm not good enough. And then the opposite of this, what we want you to believe. I am tired of holding myself back, getting in the way of receiving the things I choose to have. I am worthy of having exactly what I ask for, and I am open to accepting something even better. Oh, there we go. That shifted pretty readily. All right, let's do the second one. Is it a 1 through 20? No. 21 through 40? No. 41 through 50? Yes. 41 through 45? 41, 42, 43, 43, 44, 43. Okay. Number 43. Okay, this one says, everyone is smarter than I am. I will never amount to anything. The opposite of that. I believe in my ability to know what is right for me. I have value through my experiences, gifts, and interests. If there's something that I'm not sure of or do not understand, then I am confident enough to search for answers. I'm the only one comparing my intelligence to others and putting limits on myself. Okay, almost shifted. I'm just going to read it one more time. I believe in my ability to know what is right for me. I have value through my experiences, gifts, and interests. If there is something that I'm not sure of or do not understand, then I am confident enough to search for answers. I'm the only one comparing my intelligence to others and putting limits on myself. There we go. Having released those two core beliefs, is there anything else? There's still something else. All right, is it another lesson? Oh, yeah, it's a lesson. Okay, is there drama around the lesson? Demand the drama be released. Any more drama around the lesson? Okay. Is it one lesson, two, 3, 4, 5, 9. Okay, to anchor, do 9 lessons. Is there another lesson to anchor? Nope. Core belief to release. Nope. Other emotions, beliefs, or attitudes. Yes. Drama around any of them. Yes, we demand this drama be released. Any more drama? Collapse the timeline around this drama. Any more drama? Okay. Told you, I get a lot of drama sometimes. Give me a sec. I'm gonna have to start writing stuff down. All right, so lessons, emotion, drama. Okay, so there's basically it came in a ladder almost. So there's some lessons to anchor, but the reason the lessons aren't anchoring is because there's an emotion that's trapped. So it's like that one emotion is keeping a whole lot of stuff out of whack.
Gotcha.
But I can't identify the emotion because of drama. And there's so much drama around. I have to actually work to release the drama. I can't just ask to release it. Whereas before it was just like, okay, let it go. Ego, you don't need it anymore.
Right.
This time there's a reason it's stuck. So we got to release the drama first. Okay, so what's creating this drama? Is it a lesson that needs to be anchored? No. Is it a core belief to release? No. Is it another emotion, belief, or attitudes to release? Yes. Is there drama around this? No. Is it one emotion? No. 2. Okay. So there's 2 emotions creating some drama. All right. The first of the 2 is in column A, 1 through 10, 1 through 5, 6, 7, 8, 7. A7. I think I should know that one by now. Let's verify. A7 is anger. Anger is creating some drama. The second one is in column A, B, 1 through 10, 1 through 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 9. B9. And doubt. So there's anger and doubt creating drama. So now that we've identified those, can we release those and any and all emotions, beliefs, or attitudes triggering this drama? Is there any more drama? Okay, so now that the drama is released, are there emotions we have to address? No. So have those lessons now been anchored in? Perfect. So now is there anything remaining of this life event? There is not. Has the contract been satisfied? Yes, release the contract in love and light, and we fill the void with unconditional love and acceptance and white light for greater personal healing. Is there anything residual of this cluster of life events that needs to be addressed? Okay, tell me now when you think about that, the life events as a group, how do you feel?
Just way more neutral.
There you go. That's what we just did. We neutralized it. So I usually use the, in your case, it wasn't a life event, but it's the same idea. I tell people that they can look at their life like it's a photo album. Mm-hmm. Most of the pictures are black and white. Like they look at it and they go, oh yeah, I remember that. And I remember that. Yeah, well, that sucked, but it is what it is. And yeah, and there's no connection. Like there's no emotional charge. It's just facts. This is what happened. Whereas sometimes there's a picture that comes up which is in full color, right? You look at that and you go, oh, I remember all the details of that event. I remember who said what to whom, and yeah, that made me feel like so angry or mad or embarrassed or unhappy or whatever. And it, like all the emotions come back and you feel like it just happened yesterday. Mm-hmm. Could have been 30 years ago, but it's right there. That's an unresolved life event.
Gotcha.
That's the kind of life event that your subconscious is trying to get your attention to resolve, because it's charged.
Right.
It's energetically charged. There's something there that's making it stuck.
Interesting.
So what we just did was we drained the color out of that, in your case, cluster of life events. So now when you think about it, you can look at it and go, yeah, I remember that happened. But
that's amazing.
No emotional charge left.
And I have to tell you, like, how important that is for me and how much I appreciate it. I'm actually writing a book right now about the story of my life with some of these events included. And every time I would sit down to write, I was kind of like a mess afterward. So I've actually been avoiding writing because it's gotten to be so much.
Because you couldn't actually objectively look at the circumstance because of the emotional charge. Yeah, I get it.
Yeah. So thank you. Yeah. So this must be great with people like have PTSD or.
That's the area I really like working with. Anxiety, PTSD. That's my
amazing.
I work with all sorts.
Sure.
But there's that. Wow, I can make such a huge difference for that particular subset.
Yeah.
So, like, emotionally for me, there's just so much more gratification in being able to help those people. But yeah, it works on all sorts of stuff. It's pretty neat.
You're like a wizard with the pendulum. Is there
thank you.
Is there anything I need to do as far as like lots of water today or anything like that you would recommend? It's like aftercare.
I usually get those kinds of instructions. Let's find out. Do you need especially any no.
No.
It's like, nah, you're good.
My head still feels swimmy, so I'll probably because...
Well, yeah, energy's gonna shift. If you just go with it. I mean, if you feel like your head's spinning, relax. Just rest. You just follow what your body's telling you to do. Like some people, they're done and they feel exhausted. They're like, I need a nap now. Gotcha. Other people, they just leave and they feel so much lighter. So it's like, all right, you go, girl. Like, you got lots of energy. Go do your thing. So I don't. I'm glad you liked it.
Thank you.
Okay. Well, I think we did a whole lot of stuff today, so I'm feeling like that was a good session.
Yay. Thank you. Good. Great.
Thanks a lot for coming and being my recipient, my demo. I don't want to use the word guinea pig. What's a good word?
Well, I would say a test.
My subject.
Yeah, a test subject, but you're not really testing.
No, I'm not testing.
I don't know.
Demonstration subject. It's okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm grateful.
So you take care. You have a beautiful rest of your week, and we'll be in touch soon.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Bye.